The first step in pinch point safety is to identify and clearly mark potential hazards in the workplace. Many equipment manufacturers are beginning to include stickers or other labels on pinch points, but it's recommended that employers take the time to check all oil and gas manufacturing equipment to ensure that pinch points are identified. This can be done with bright paint or stickers that alert workers to the potential danger of pinch point injury. Before work begins, employers should go on-site and perform a hand safety site analysis that determines what hazards exist, what personal protective equipment or PPE might be needed, and debrief workers on safety protocol. Some specific questions employers should ask themselves during this assessment include: is there the potential for blunt force impact caught between or pinching injuries? What about severe lacerations or abrasions to the hand? Will your workers be exposed to any elements, such as the cold, or have the potential to get their hands wet? Answering these questions before beginning work allows employers to develop a plan to keep hands and fingers safe. Once this plan has been put into place, all policies and procedures should be clearly defined and communicated to employees. This ensures everyone is on the same page when it comes to pinch point safety. Once this plan has been put into place, all policies and procedures should be clearly defined and communicated to employees. That way, everyone knows what's expected and how to stay safe around pinch points. This should be done routinely everywhere, from large formal meetings and debriefings to the daily toolbox talks, going over everything for that day. Employee understanding and buy-in are critical in making sure everyone knows how to work safely. The number one thing all employees can do to keep their hands and fingers safe is wear the proper gloves. Under OSHA 29 CFR 1910.138, employers must select and require appropriate hand protection based on the hazards identified, including cuts, lacerations, punctures, and chemical exposure. Choosing the right gloves for the job could mean the difference between having 10 fingers and having 9. Due to the hands-on nature of the oil and gas industry, workers must use high-performance, task-specific gloves that meet their needs. For example, gloves made of thermoplastic rubber provide impact protection on the top of the hand and down the length of the fingers. Their design provides increased dexterity and protection. Cut and puncture-resistant gloves are made of highly durable materials that have been rigorously tested for endurance and strength. Cut protection is determined by several factors, including material type, thickness, and construction. Gloves are rated according to the ANSI, ICEA 105, 2016 standard, which uses a scale from A1 to A9, with A1 providing basic cut resistance and A9 offering the highest level of protection for extreme hazards. The level of protection needed is going to depend on the job at hand. It's also recommended that gloves be made of highly visible materials. This draws attention to the hands as they work on equipment, reducing the risk of injury. Finally, gloves must fit properly to do their job. A glove that is too big or too small isn't going to do you any good. A properly fitting glove should conform to the hand without feeling too tight or stiff. A glove that is too tight can affect fine motor skills, irritate the skin, and lead to hand fatigue. A glove that is too big can get caught in machinery, reduce dexterity, and leave gaps in protection. In fact, gloves are so important in hand and finger safety that the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, 29 CFR 1910.138 subparagraph A, requires their use anytime employees are working in conditions where severe cuts, lacerations, abrasions, or punctures may occur. Appropriate hand protection selection should be based on the task, conditions, duration of use, and potential hazards identified. Before use, all machinery should be in good working order and properly maintained. Any equipment found to be unsafe must be taken out of service using proper lockout and tagout procedures. Always check all machine and tool safety guards before beginning work to ensure they are properly installed, securely fastened, and free of damage or tampering. Guards should fully cover moving parts, operate as intended, and never be removed or bypassed during use. Luckily, with advances in technology, certain types of injuries have been reduced in the oil and gas manufacturing industry, including remote control pipe handling systems. Having iron derrickman units on rigs eliminates the need for derrickmen and floormen to be on derricks and floors, reducing the risk of injury. Instead, all operations are performed remotely by a driller. Many oil and gas companies have adopted hands-free policies. One example of this is a hands-off load policy in which no one touches the load during rigging operations, using push tools and taglines instead, keeping hands and fingers out of lifting operations. While there are safeguards in place to protect employees' hands when it comes to pinch points, Nothing outweighs the importance of being aware and using your head when it comes to working around oil and gas machinery. Never place your hands where your eyes can't see them, and pay close attention to working around moving parts. Never leave machines unattended while they are turned on or in motion. Always block or secure equipment parts that could move or release stored energy unexpectedly. Sudden motion from gravity, pressure loss, or power failure can cause serious pinch or crush injuries. Follow proper lockout/tagout procedures, OSHA 29, CFR 1910.147, before performing maintenance or stepping away from operating machinery. Finally, avoid wearing jewelry, including watches, rings, or bracelets, and ensure that loose clothing and long hair are properly secured before working with equipment, and follow all guidelines, policies, and regulations for hand and finger safety.